Hi everyone, hope you've had a great week and welcome to my channel. My name's Dr. Daniel Follows and this is GP Made Easy. So today we're going to talk about some tips that I use in my general day-to-day practice that help me keep time organised and help me keep efficient and help me finish my clinics on time so I can have a good work personal quality of life. But before we get onto that, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so I know that you're liking this content. So anyway, let's get on to the video. Just before I begin, this is just a little warning. These are my top tips. They're not things that you need to follow to the T. You can incorporate them, mix and match it however you wish. But I thought I'd just share these tips, see what you think, and there might be some useful information that you might want to put into your clinics. It's very tricky with GPs that we always tend to finish that a little bit late. So we can either be overrunning or leave sort of quite late where it's sort of 6, 7 o'clock. I've even known some GPs who are there till about 7:30, 8 o'clock before they leave. So my little tip is I always tend to get in about 30 minutes before my clinic is actually about to start. Why do I do that, you ask? Well, I do it for number one, that there's less traffic around the time I set off, so it's a nice straightforward journey, no traffic, no stopping, no being held back, so I arrive with plenty of time with less stress. And then what I will tend to do when I get to practices, I boot up the system and I will start looking through my blood test results. So the reason why I do this is so that if there are any abnormal test results that come up, I can book them in for one of my appointments on that day to go over the results. I'm not having to use extra slots if I came to it later on in the day and all my appointments have been filled up for the day. So how I filter through bloods is every person's way is a bit different. You choose a way that suits you. So some people will literally just go through it top to bottom and their list. Some people will organise it so they can just quick filter it to have all their normal results first. They can get rid of them first and then focus on all the abnormal results, so they just have that little bit of extra time to, if they need to, go through the patient's notes. I'm always a little bit different. There are some days where I will just literally go through it top to bottom list if there's not that many, but if there's a few, then I will tend to get through all the normal test results first. So then I have that little bit of extra time to focus on the abnormal blood test results. If there's any time after that before my clinic starts, then I'll normally do any quick sick note requests that come through and just double check my tasks and see if there are any tasks that I can do at that moment, like any quick filing of results or tests or any quick referrals that I can do that I know I can easily manage. Now remember, we're all human, so if there are aspects of your work that you're struggling with, then I would suggest please get in touch with your management or discuss with the other partners or colleagues of yours, whoever is your sort of like line manager, to just have a chat with your clinics if you are struggling. Work through with them with a process that works best for you, like if your morning clinics are to start a bit later to accommodate kids, or starting earlier if that is best for you. But there's no harm in trying, just have a chat with your team. And again, all of these are tips. You don't have to take them in if you don't want to. You just incorporate anything. If you find it helpful, give it a go and see how you get on. So now on to my clinics for the day. So before I do anything, key with GP these days now, because of the mixture of telephone and face-to-face appointments, is I always go through my appointments and triage them. So I'll have a quick look, especially at any telephone ones, see what the little blurb is that's been used to book it in. And then I'll first of all identify any patients that I think, they may either be a home visit or I may have to bring them in face to face. And I'll tend to call them first, because then it allows me, if need be, I can get any housebound patients booked in with the home visiting service or the rapid response. There are a couple of services in different areas, but remember to check your local area for what is available to you, and also look at any calls that I may need to bring them in face to face. When I actually chat to them, if they do end up needing to be a face to face, I can actually use the original telephone appointment that they were booked in for to bring them in for that time as a face to face. If all the telephone calls are straightforward, then it just creates extra little gaps. And then I'll next move on to my regular telephone calls, which are ones where it's either follow-ups or discussing test results or just general advice, so I can go through it with the patient and again create some extra gaps in the day. So later on, if need be, I can catch up with some things I didn't manage to get done earlier. Then again, if I'm on an on-call day, so I'm the on-call doctor, I know every practice is different with on-call, but I'll keep checking the on-call appointments. Again, keep constantly checking them for any patients that may be a home visit or may need to bring them in face-to-face. So if I do get any time in the morning, I can actually bring them, get the home visit sorted, or bring them in the morning for a face-to-face as an extra slot, or any free slots I have during the day. So then it helps relieve some pressure on the on-call in the afternoon. So moving on to when I'm actually doing a consultation with the patient. First of all, I'll have a little look at the blurb, what they've been booked in with, to try and see if it is a sort of follow-up or a new appointment. Then what I'll do next is I'll have a little quick look at any previous appointments that have been done with the patient, or any quick test results or letters, so I have a rough idea what's going on with the patient. Then when I either call the patient or call them in if it's a face-to-face, if it's necessary, then I will actually just do a little summary with the patient. Helps gain trust, show them that they care, and actually show that you put work into their health, that you've taken that time to look through their notes and identify what's already been done. And then what I'll move on with is, how can I help you today? Or if they've recently been seen and it's the same problem, I'll be like, so what's changed since the last appointment? Then I'll move on to the main history of what's brought them in today. I'll aim at to try and gather the key red flags, key positives and key negatives. Now, one of the tips that helps me here is that I tend to touch type as I go along. So I'll be typing while I'm sort of looking at the patient and chatting to them. So I'll be sort of like this, typing and chatting to them. I know it can be quite a tricky skill, but it is one that can be very helpful, as well as it helps save that time, so you're not doing double the time, one taking a history of the patient and then later on writing up all the notes. It helps go along, so at the end of the appointment, all you really have to do is just a quick skim to make sure that all the spelling is correct and you've got everything down. Great tip if you can, and if you want to give it a go, there are many different resources that you can find online that can help you build up that touch typing skill. And after that, I'll move on and examine the patient, and then I'll have a sit down with them and I will chat about what the likely differentials are and the management plan. And part of what helps me here as well is taking that holistic approach, giving the options to the patient, and go over the shared management plan together. Now remember, if a patient does come across making a decision that you don't think is medically wise or you don't agree with, but you think that the patient has capacity to make that decision, don't forget to clearly document that they have this capacity to make the decision and you have gone through all the risks and benefits with them. And then after we've come up with a management plan, I will do the prescriptions, I will do any quick test requests that I can do. For example, those that I can do on ICE, I'll do that there with the patient and then get them on their way. If there are any referrals or any test requests or anything that I'm not able to do in the appointment and I don't think that I'll have time to do it then, I'll actually just send a task to myself with a quick blurb about everything I need to do, so that I can do it later on when I have a gap in my clinic, or around the sort of midday gap that GPs tend to get to catch up with admin work. Now, if I do get any free gaps during my clinics, I'll use that time to catch up with any work that needs to be done, any blood test results that need to be filed, any task queries, sick notes, anything like that. And I'll also take time to have a look if I've been assigned any home visits. Then I will do the same as I've done with my appointments, where I'll look through the reason for the home visit, what's been done for the patient so far, have a look at the demographics and problems, so it gives me an idea so that when I do go out on the home visit, I can just get in the flow, just crack on with what I'm needed to do there today. And so I'm fully informed, so the family feel trusting and that they can open up to me as well, and we can have a good conversation about the patient and their management plan. Now, during my gap between morning and afternoon clinic, again, I'll use that time to catch up on any test results and tasks that I need to. And if there is nothing else to do, then I will start triaging the afternoon clinic to have a look and again do any telephone calls that need to be done, bring patients down that need to be brought down. And then during that gap as well, I'll use it to do any sort of research like quality improvement activities or any audits that need doing, Or in some practices, we get involved with doing the QoF work as well, so we'll be checking that those targets are being met. And another thing is, if there is some extra time, I'll even have a little look at my clinic the following day, help get me in the mind to prepare what is going to happen the next day, so when I do come in the next day, it's not as such a big a shock. So helps keep me in that good frame of mind, so it doesn't get me feeling sort of anxious or overwhelmed or too stressed. It helps me keep level-headed so I can focus on providing top quality care for my patients. Now, I know one of the biggest problems during any consultation is when a patient comes in and you say to them, so what has brought you in today? And they come in with quite a few problems. It can get any of us feeling overwhelmed, and especially with the time restraints on GP with sort of 10-minute appointments, we want to make sure we are focusing on all the patient's problems but doing adequate histories and making sure we get everything sorted to not miss anything out with the patient. So whenever a patient comes in like this in my clinics, what I tend to do is sit them down. I ask them which ones are concerning them the most, or if there are any that concern me, such as that I think may lead to a 2-week wait referral or an urgent scan, I will try just focus on them, get all the right details, get the key red flags so I can properly manage those problems. And I'll have a good sit down with the patient and just say to them honestly, look, I don't think we've got enough time to sort out all your issues today, but I do see that they're very important for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to book you in for a follow-up appointment so we can focus on them with the attention that is needed. And I will actually sit down with the patient and book a follow-up appointment with them, whether it is booking them in another appointment in a week or two, or just booking them in for an extra slot if it's something that, okay, yeah, this is something that won't take me too long, so I'll just book them in as an extra so I can just focus on it then. It makes the patient feel happy, makes them feel valued, makes them see that you're actually caring for them, but while at the same time helping you have that good quality of life during your clinics, that you're not feeling stressed, you're not feeling overwhelmed, that you can stick to time and you can manage the patients the way that they deserve and need to be managed. So they're some little tips that I would use, but again, these are tips you incorporate, you use whatever feels comfortable to you. Now, here's another little tip that I've found out, but again, just checking your local area if these are being used or being incorporated at the moment, because I don't want you to go on it and get in trouble for them. But recently, I found out about these AI type softwares which will record everything that you say and automatically type it up for you. For those who struggle to touch type or can't learn that skill at all, something that you can do so you can just focus on doing your appointment with the patient, and the software will write up all the appointments and they will even summarize it, put it into little summaries for each different problem. It will pick out different problems if a patient comes in with a few. Now, these are the two that I've heard of. One is called Heidi Health, and the other one is called Tandem, and I'll put their little logos and names just up here. But again, give them a check yourself, see if it's something you'd want to give a try, but also please make sure that it is something that's being incorporated in your area and something that your practice is happy with. Okay everyone, and that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It lets me know that you're enjoying these videos and I'll keep making this type of content for you. If there is anything that you would like me to cover, then please comment in the comments down below. I'll have a look at them and try and do videos on them at future dates. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I post more regularly on there. I'll pop the link for it below in the description, and it's also on my YouTube homepage as well. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you have an amazing week and I will see you in the next video.